Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Judette, and for those of you who are new, I blog on business, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. And yeah, you know what to do. I would love if you would click the subscribe button if you love this content. And of course, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you can receive content as soon as I put it up. So today is going to be pretty exciting because for as long as I can remember, we've been talking about what it feels like to be stuck in a rut and not feel as if you are moving forward. And I've been pretty fascinated by this topic because I am someone who, when I am stuck, I try to find ways out of the quicksand before I drown. And I know I get a lot of questions from you guys as to how I get it done. So I thought instead of me talking about my method, I should probably interview an expert on the matter. So we're headed to Diane's, my favorite coffee shop in Trinidad, to have a conversation with Shane Wang, who is a life coach, an entrepreneurship consultant. And we're going to talk about the whole idea of what keeps us stuck in that rut and how, more importantly than being stuck, how can we get out of it? And Shane is so interesting. I've been following him for years, so it would be great to share a cup of hot chocolate and talk about how we can get rid of fear. Read about getting unstuck.
Right.
That once you don't decide, you can't act. So nothing decided is nothing done.
Yeah.
Does that kind of encapsulate the position of being stuck because you haven't decided?
Well, yes, to a large extent, but the question is, what's the decision that you have to make?
Yeah.
All right. What's that decision? And
I want to lose weight.
Okay.
I want to quit my job.
Okay.
I want my business to bring money.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So so I want to quit my job.
Right.
I haven't yet, but I've been saying that I want to quit my job
Okay.
for the past 5 years,
Right.
and I'm stuck.
Okay.
In fact, have I made a decision to quit my job?
No, you haven't. Okay.
But I keep telling myself that.
You keep telling yourself that because you spoke about decision and action, you know. So I think the most important decision that people have to make is the decision of who am I? Because you see, I'm sure you could find all the strategies in the world to lose weight, how to set up a business. So success is 20% strategy and 80% what we call psychology or mindset. And the main part of that mindset is what we call who. So 20% what, 80% who. So
Meaning
who am I?
It's grounded in a belief of self?
Yes, yeah. So how do I see myself? So one of the best examples of identity, of transformation. So what we're looking at is transformation. And before we go a little bit deep, I want to say that being stuck is a good thing.
Why?
In the sense that you see, if you stuck means that you want to move and you can't, but there are people who don't want to move, which is horrible.
So the people who don't want to move are not stuck, or are there different levels
They're
of being
different.
stuck?
Yeah.
Like there's deer caught in the headlight stuck. There
Right.
is I'm in quicksand, help me stuck.
Okay.
And there is like I'm talking and
Yeah.
I'm not moving.
Yeah.
It's kind of stuck.
Yeah. So
Which one is the good kind of stuck?
the good kind of stuck is where you want to move but you feel stuck. Yeah. Something is pulling you back. You know where you want to go, but you're stuck, right? And I say that's a good thing because I think the mentality is very important.
Yeah.
Because if you think negatively about being stuck, then you won't take the necessary action. You will hesitate on the decisions that you need
But I
to
think
make.
you said something really, really key here in terms of being stuck and wanting to get unstuck, and then definitively being unstuck is that you said that a person sees where they want to go,
Right.
he or she wants to go. So does it begin with having a clear vision?
Yes, absolutely. It starts with having a clear vision, and I guess the most important decision is what do I want? What do they want? And I think that decision to really get unstuck, to get the power to get unstuck, has to come from what I call a soul level. What lights up your soul, as opposed to what it is that seems good to have out there, what else everyone is having, right? So that's, I think, a very important exercise and decision. You know, what makes my soul light up, what it is that I want, what is my purpose, because that's the fuel to get unstuck, okay?
How do you tap into the fuel? Because I would think that if I put 10 people in a room and said, what lights your soul? 9 out of 10 would definitively know what lights their soul.
You think so? 9 out of 10?
Your research doesn't show that.
No, my research doesn't show that. My research shows that, thank you very much. My research shows that, as Oscar Wilde, a famous Irish philosopher, said, he says that most people are other people. And what he meant by that is that the goals and aspirations that we have are dependent on what we see other people are doing, what we think will make our parents happy, what we think will make our spouse happy, what we think will be defined as success in the eyes of other people.
So other people define who we are.
Absolutely.
And that is a powerful thing that we have to excavate in order to move other people's perception of us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So and very interestingly, one level deeper than that is what I think you think about me. Not just what you think about me, but what I think about myself that you think about me. Yeah. So
when I talk to the woman, and there is always this fear, and I talk a lot about telling your story.
Yes.
And there is a lot of fear that I hear. I would hear stories of women saying that I don't want to tell my story because, one, I don't think my story is good enough.
Yes.
I don't want to tell my story because yesterday I met with a female entrepreneur, and she wants to get into social and digital platform, and storytelling is an important component of that. And she said, I don't want to tell my story because I am too fat.
Right.
And I will feel ashamed to get in front of the camera at the size I'm at.
Okay.
And I feel that all these limiting beliefs really put us in a place where we can never pull our feet out of the quicksand.
Absolutely. And that's really powerful and a really good example. And I want to take that example to sort of go through the process that person could get unstuck. Okay. So they want to do that video. They want to go on social media. They want to share that story, so to speak. So, but they procrastinate. Okay. So let's think about it like 5 layers of an onion. So the behavior level, which is procrastination, or playing small, for example. She can do big things, but she's playing small. So that's the behavior level. Before he or she behaves that way, they tell themselves a story, very interestingly enough. I'm too fat. People judge me. People wouldn't take me seriously because who am I to say that you could, whatever she wants to say and inspire people when I look like this. Okay, so that's a story.
When in fact, she could be telling the stories of her business while she loses weight to inspire. So there's the fact and her story, and she could use however painful that story is to her to create another reality.
Absolutely. And there's power in that because there's bliss in your blisters. And if,
love that.
Right?
Let's say that again.
there's bliss in your blisters.
Wow.
Right? And what happens is that at the end of the day, it's about transformation. You want to transform your business, you want to transform your life. But here's what's even more powerful, Judette, is that so many people have challenges these days. And you know what? People connect at the level of pain more than at the level of success. And so if you want to help people along, if you want to transform people's lives and business, you can't come from a point of, well, I've done it, I'm up here, come follow me. Okay? No, you have to start with, this is where I was. And then you said, okay, she understands me. She could understand me. When I tell my story now, because your story is inspiring other stories, it's like, okay, she gets me. She was in pain just like me, so she could understand me.
Yeah.
And people will not come to you, to your business, if they don't feel that you can understand them.
Let's get back to that entrepreneur I met yesterday.
Right.
Who wants to do stories. Her business is going through transition and wants to do it. Knows she has to do it.
Yeah.
But is fearful because of what other people would think of her.
Right.
So let's go back to her transformation.
Right. One wonderful,
Unstuck.
wonderful situation that you presented there, Judette. So she wants to transform. She wants to, get out there and do what she needs to do. So the first thing is that she needs to, I always say, slow down to speed up.
Yes.
Okay, slow down to
Love
speed
that
up.
one.
Okay, so it requires self-analysis, and I help my clients by taking them through 5 simple questions that they ask themselves. So one is, what is the story I'm telling myself?
So she has to ask herself, what is the story she's telling about her
Right.
weight?
Yes,
Her
yes.
inability to tell her story,
Right.
or face a fear about being in front of the camera overweight?
Right. But there's a deeper story that she believes behind it, which is, I'm too fat so people wouldn't listen to me. The second thing that you have to ask yourself, is that true? Is it true?
Can I tell you something, Shane?
Right.
I looked at her and I
Right.
said, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
For me, I saw a woman, yes, she's overweight, but she is beautiful, articulate.
Right.
She knows her business inside out.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's tech savvy,
Right.
even though she's older.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Exactly, right? So we tell ourselves all of these stories that are absolutely not true, right?
Where do those stories come from?
Right, so wonderful. Those stories come from what we call an original sensitizing event, okay? So before the procrastination, there's a story. The story is driven by a fear, right? Fears. That fear is driven by a belief. The most common one in the world, Judette, is I'm not good enough, right? Now, where did that come from?
Yeah.
So it comes from the root cause, what we call an original sensitizing event. So something happened. Something happened. Childhood, adulthood, and we put a meaning to that thing that happened, right? And one of the resources that people can use is Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, right? So he survived the Holocaust. So that incident, that original incident was horrible, okay? And most of us have horrible incidents in our lives. And it could be something simple. Somebody says, you're fat. I've had a client whose mother told her, the incident was they went shopping and it's like, if you weren't so fat, you'd have gotten your clothes right now.
It stays with you.
It stays with you. It stays with you. And she put a meaning to that and a belief to that.
That carries through from childhood
into
to
adulthood.
teenage to adulthood.
Yes.
Unless we grapple with it.
Till our deathbed. And what I was saying to you before we started, the example of Gabrielle Bernstein, for example, 6 best-selling books, self-help books, helping people of how to transform and get unstuck. And then she ended up being depressed. And suffering from insomnia, right? So she did a similar process that I do, which is, peeling back the onion. And her original sensitizing event was a bad one, which was sexual abuse, right? So you could still move along in life, but I believe
still be successful.
Yes, but to get into your ultimate potential, you still need to deal with it. You can't change the incident, but you can change what it means to you. So that's what Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, he says, well, this thing happened, and I could put a meaning to it. Okay?
So how do we help? Let's go back to the entrepreneur.
Okay.
We're peeling back her onion,
right.
the layers of her onion, right?
Okay.
She has a vision.
Yes.
Step 1 complete. Check.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
She has a limiting belief.
Right.
Right? Should we take that off? Because we have acknowledged it.
Yes, it's important to acknowledge that
So she's
what it
acknowledged
is.
it.
Yeah.
How do we get her unstuck?
Okay, good. So it's actually very simple. Not always easy, but simple. So the question is, what is the belief that you're going to have that will help you to achieve that vision? What is the belief? And it's usually simply the opposite of the limiting belief, right?
What do you mean?
So
That has me puzzled.
Okay, so if I believe that I'm too fat and no one will take me seriously. Well, first of all, you have to acknowledge that that's a lie. Okay, so the belief now could be, my weight has nothing to do with my success. Okay, I could still be overweight and be successful. I could still help people to transform. I could transform my life. I could do this while I'm building my business. Okay, so how is that versus, I'm too fat, nobody's going to take me seriously, etc., right? So, and you can choose to believe. That's the interesting thing. We can choose to believe what we want, and that's the power of being a human. The oak tree cannot be anything else but an oak tree, but a human being could be anything that they want, right? And one of the ways to do that is to create a persona, almost an alter ego, if you want, of what you desire. Remember, I started off saying the most important question to success is, who do I need to become to achieve that vision? How do I see myself? So we all know Beyonce, for example. So she started off very conservatively singing gospel in the church, conservative dressing and everything. And her father saw that there was potential in her. So what they developed was what we call an alter ego called Sasha Fierce. Okay. So that's the thing. So the question is, what will Sasha Fierce do? How will she act? And you could literally jump into that character. And you would know with the industry that you are in, it's like you could jump into a character and the people looking believe that person is fully in that character and that role. And that, I'm not an actor, but maybe the actors feel like, this is who I am. I am Superman, or I am this character. And what happens is that the transformation comes when, the Beyonce becomes Sasha Fierce and they won. Okay, that's how the biggest decision is, who do I need to be? How do I think? How do I act?
How does this entrepreneur, who does she need to be in order to tell stories?
Right. So
how does she get rid of her limiting belief?
Okay, as I said, by countering with a positive belief, because let's jump a little bit into the neuroscience without getting too technical, right? So is that our brain works with neural connections, right? So she has a connection about being on social media and weight, and right now it's a negative connection. Right? So what has to happen is that she literally has to, form that new belief. So literally sit down and write down, what do I need to believe about myself to have this success, right? And there's a simple exercise that I take people through, where I used to believe that I was too fat to be on social media, but now I know that my weight has nothing to do with transforming people, right? And the neural connections now move from being on social media, too fat, to being on social media. I can do this.
So is this about daily manifestation?
Yes, it has to be. It has to be.
Is this about mirror work? Does that become too focus for some people who don't believe in that?
Well, I love that you give me two options. The thing is that in today's world, what is so amazing is that there are so many ways that you can do it. You can do the mirror work. You can create self-talk. You record it on your phone and have it playing all the time so that you're listening to it all the time. Sticky notes all over. And as I said, the most common belief in the world is I'm not good enough. And one of the top therapists in the UK, she works between UK and LA, Marissa Peer, and she says, all she needs is a stick of lipstick, to transform someone's life. And all she does is she literally goes around their house, and wherever there's a mirror, just write, I am enough.
So she is programmed that she's enough, that she is not fat. She's worthy, even though she may be overweight, to tell her story, to share her story, to inspire others. How long does that process take in the movement towards doing what I need to do in order to succeed and live the life that I want? How long? Because I can hear the people looking at this, asking, okay, I'm going to get up every morning and I'm going to do my mirror work and my manifestations. How long can I expect to wait?
I like to be real with people, Judette, and also do stuff that is backed by scientific research. So the University College of London recently said it takes 66 days. And in my experience as a coach, that's why I do nothing less than 3-month assignments with clients, because that is what I have found. Because in the past, you would have heard it takes 21 days to change a habit. Now, that came from cybernetics and a slightly different perspective. Right, so that came from like if you do plastic surgery and you cut off a finger or a limb, or even if you change something on your face, what it says is that literally, even if you've changed your face, let's just say, and you look in that mirror, you will still see the old face for as much as 21 days, right? So that's where that 21-day idea came about. But literally 66 days. But I tell people, and they're like, oh my God, 66 days. I said, but 66 days for the rest of your life, for a different life. It's worth it, right? And that's part of the entrepreneurial spirit, is persistency, consistency, over and over, and that's what creates success, Judette. Because it's not.
Because this entrepreneur example I use, she has a successful business.
Right.
Right. So if it is that she wants to lose weight, how is she not transferring that success and energy and passion that she brings into her business into her personal life? Which brings me to this question about the dichotomy that people experience.
Right.
It's almost schizophrenic in the terms of people who are women in particular, who are organized and focused with their family, getting things done, making sure X and Y is done in their business, coming back home, taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it comes to their personal life,
or
making a decision about leaving a job and starting a business, they don't move.
Right.
Goes back to limiting belief.
Right.
But to me, there's energy and passion in one area, and there's non-existent except desire in the other area. How do you bring them together?
Right. So that's a really great question, Judith. If I were to, it's really about getting to the root of that desire for success in your business and putting yourself last. It doesn't synchronize as you just suggest. And sometimes, Judith, that drive for success in business is usually to what I call fill a hole in the soul. Right?
Oh God, that's
to
brilliant,
fill a
Shane.
hole in the soul,
To
right?
fill a hole in
the
the
soul,
soul.
right? And I could relate to that because that's what I did. Because my incident, if you want to call it that way, is never getting recognition from my father.
Yes.
Right? And I always wanted it as a kid, and whatever I did, there was no recognition. I wanted him to see me.
So approval from your father, hole in your soul.
Yeah, so what did I do? I went out and I killed it at school.
Super successful.
I played intercol football.
And you could never get
right?
it.
Exactly. It wasn't about me. It was about, for hopefully that my father says, I see you, son. Right? So a lot of times people's drive that you see out there is really to fill a hole in their soul.
Did he ever say it?
No, I went to him and I said that you don't have to change anything. I'm doing this for me. I am relieving you. I relieve myself of trying to please you. I know that you might be proud of me deep down inside, and you haven't. His own incident, his own life doesn't allow him. Because you know what I did? I went to hug him and he still put out his hand to shake my dad.
You took power back and gave it to yourself and gave him permission to be
himself.
Yes.
And once you figure that out and you start to put yourself first, right? It's like on the plane. Even if you have an infant, they say put on your mask first. So really and truly, you cannot help people to get to the level of success that they could really get to. Because when you talk about success, last night I was saying to someone, I said, well, everybody is like, wow, Shane, you became an executive, a director at the age of 31. I say, yeah, but Mark Zuckerberg became a billionaire at 31. Success is relative. Right?
And we have to stop being on the comparison treadmill.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I think also that too, when we have this idea of what we want to do and we look at others, we can either be one inspired
Right.
and try to figure out how to
Yeah.
recreate a model,
Yeah.
or we can say, because of this comparative analysis,
Yeah.
I can never achieve, I'm going to
Right.
remain here and
Exactly.
fixated. I want to ask you as we close off, it's a new decade,
Yes.
it's 2020. People are super focused on creating new goals with a sort of a hyper awareness that doesn't exist when we just switch a year.
Right.
Because 2020 means all sorts of things for us here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
I think we've been programmed as
Yes.
children to see 2020 as a big year.
Yeah.
And maybe that has groundings in politics.
Yes.
But still, it's the start of a new decade.
Absolutely.
So, what are the 5 things
Yes.
we can take away to get unstuck and pursue the dreams and the life that we want?
Okay.
The 5 practical things that we can do.
Okay.
Starting from January the 1st.
Okay. Well, 5 practical things. I think one is to really get clear on what it is that you want, Judette. I think for ages it has been said it is the starting point of all success, right? And a lot of people think that they have goals, but they really don't. They have wishes. So one of the first things is to get ultra clear, write it down. What does success look like? Because
Start with the vision.
yes, and getting ultra specific. Because here's what: whether you believe in God or the universe, the thing is, for that entity to give you what you desire, they need to know exactly what it is that you want. So you could save more money and you might get $1 extra change, and you got more and you didn't realize that you got it, and you said, but I still not, it doesn't know what to give you. It's like if I give you, if you give me,
here's what you call for.
Yes.
So more money could be 50 cents on the table.
Exactly.
As opposed to if I say I want to earn $1 million by the end of 2020. The
Exactly.
universe hears that
Yes.
specifically.
And
I
starts to
love
do
that.
everything in order. So if you give me a grocery list and one of the items is milk, for
Yes.
example, that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
Milk. And I go to the grocery store, I don't know if it's powdered milk,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's UHT milk, I don't know if it's low-fat milk, I don't know how much milk
Yeah.
that you want.
Yeah.
And then you come and I bring it back, whatever I choose, and you
Yeah.
say, but that's not what I asked for.
Exactly. Typical
Okay.
husband-wife
Yes.
argument.
Yeah.
So start with the
So-
vision,
so-
number 1, and be specific about
But
what you want. Okay.
right? Dig deep and find out why you want what it is that you
Ooh,
want.
that's a big
right?
one.
Yes. Is it what you really want? Is that what's going to make your soul light up? Because what's going to happen is that another year is going to pass, and maybe another month is going to pass, and you're going to stop because you're going to have challenges, right? The moment that you activate this vision, Judette, the law of opposites starts to kick in. The yin and the yang starts to kick in. So when I coach clients, I'll tell them, you have this big vision, strap on, because get ready for some problems.
Okay.
Right? Some challenges, and they're there for 2 reasons. One is to test if you really, really, really want what you
Yeah.
say that you want.
Yeah.
And that's where purpose comes in,
Yeah.
that deep-rooted,
Knowing the purpose.
Yeah.
And the second,
So that's the second,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So the first one is exactly what it is you want,
Yeah.
and the second one is to kind of test it.
Yes.
How deep is that the desire, right? Is it
because you may
deep
think you
rooted?
want something, but
Exactly.
if you don't understand if it speaks to your soul and lights you up, then you're going to give up when you meet challenges.
Exactly.
Okay, third one.
The third point is develop. I would say the third point is to create an environment of success, right? Create an environment
Okay,
of
such that
success,
it's a-
right?
it's
So whether it is you're hooked onto a YouTube channel and you're just pouring in positive stuff all the time, having a coach, that's part of your environment, the people that you surround yourself with. It could be even nature, whatever lights you up, right? That is so critical because nothing changes unless you change your environment.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing changes unless you change your environment. The fourth thing is to develop an action plan. And that's
This
where
is the toughest one.
yes.
This is where it really is about the work, the inner work, the outer
The
work,
work, yeah.
the experiential work,
Yeah.
everything, right?
Absolutely, Judith. And that plan has so many facets to it. And you hit a critical point, which is what is your personal development plan, right? Because the strategy out there, I mean, I do videos, what do? And it's, flip up my phone, right? Have a halo light, and there you could film a video.
Yeah.
So all the strategies and the tools are already there.
Yeah.
The critical thing is the personal development plan. That's the 80%. You know, working on yourself, right? That's the plan.
Okay, so we're
And then number 5 is simply acting, right? Acting on the plan. It is so powerful because so many people, they don't realize that once you do the first 4 things, it's almost like your action has now so much of power, right? Because you have this vision, you have this belief that little bit of action creates so much results. But you have to do those 4 things before, because
so it's sequential.
it's sequential. Because think about it. Think about the guy who is working terribly hard out there, you know, laying bricks and mixing cement. He's working his butt off, but he doesn't have a vision. He's not working on himself. He's not working towards anything. So he's going to have to continue to plow away at that and never get to success. But now when you link action to a vision, the action knows that I'm heading here. This action leads me to here, versus I keep, laying the bricks, but it's to no end. I don't know where I'm going, right? So it is sequential. And the power is that a little bit of action, right? Once you have all of that vision and you're doing the personal development works, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised of how quickly things begin to happen, and you don't need to take so many actions, but you need to take it.
What I loved about this conversation was how much the work that you're doing is based not just on your studies and such in-depth studies, but also on the personal experiences
of course.
that you have in your life. So you're able to really truly identify with the people who are there in the moment, in that moment of fear and pain and doubt, and how it is. And I really believe it's about building a bridge to cross to the other side. And today you laid perfectly that foundation for the bridge to get us powers through to the beginning of 2020 onward. Thank you so much, Shane.
You're most welcome, Judette.
Thank you. Want us to eat? Let's eat.
All right.
That was really